Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Your easy guide to English words you need to know. Let's go exploring far and near.
Welcome to this deep dive. Today we are taking you to a very special place. It is Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota.
Oh man, I am so excited to explore this place with you today. It's just truly unique.
It really is. And this deep dive is your shortcut to understanding this incredible park. We're going to cover the must-see spots and the wild history of the land.
Right, and it is the only American national park named after a single person.
Exactly. Because this show is designed for you, we will also practice some simple, useful English travel phrases. Phrases you can actually use on your next trip.
That is so helpful. The landscape here is unforgettable. People call it the Badlands. The Badlands are a place of rough, colorful canyons and amazing wild animals.
The Badlands are beautiful, yes. But they can also be, they can be tough to travel through.
Oh, absolutely. Very tough.
That is why it is great to practice some travel English and learn the logistics before you go. We want to help you understand exactly how to plan your visit.
Yeah, let's start by looking at the big picture of the park. Because the park is huge. It covers over 70,000 acres of land.
Wow, that is massive.
Yeah, but it is not just one big circle on the map. It is actually split into 3 different areas. When you read the park map, you will see these areas called units.
Let's do a quick contextual classroom right here. What does the word unit mean in this situation?
Good question. Think of a unit as a specific section. It is a separate part of the park. It is almost like different neighborhoods in a very large city.
Okay, that is a great way to think about it. You really need to know about these 3 units to plan your driving.
Right.
First, there's the South Unit. The South Unit is very accessible.
Which means it is easy to get to.
Yes, easy to enter and easy to travel around. It has a paved road that goes in a big scenic circle. You can get great views of the Badlands right from the window of your car.
But because it is so easy to visit, the South Unit can be crowded. You will see many other tourists there.
True. So then there's the North Unit.
Yeah, the North Unit. That one is about an hour drive away from the South Unit. It is much more remote.
Remote, meaning it is far away from towns and cities.
Exactly. You will not see many buildings there. The North Unit has deeper canyons. It also has bigger herds of wild animals. It just feels much more wild and untouched.
And finally, there's the third section. This is the Elkhorn Ranch Unit.
Right.
This unit is very quiet. It's very hard to reach. You have to drive on long dirt roads to get there.
But it is historically very important to the park. We will share that amazing history with you a little later.
Sounds good. So you have the South Unit, the North Unit, and the Elkhorn Ranch Unit.
And because these units are spread out, driving between them takes careful planning.
Yes, it does. And this brings us to an essential travel skill for this specific park. We call this part Travel Skills 101. We need to talk about time zones.
Oh, wow. Yeah, time zones.
A time zone is a region where all the clocks show the same time. Understanding time zones is crucial here because this park sits in 2 different time zones.
How does that work for a visitor driving through the park?
It is a very interesting situation. The South Unit is in the Mountain Time Zone, but the North Unit is in the Central Standard Time Zone. That means there's a 1-hour time difference between the 2 units.
Oh, wow.
Yes. If you were in the South Unit and your watch says it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it is already 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the North Unit.
That is a very important detail. You could easily make a big mistake with your schedule.
Exactly. If you have a guided tour in the North Unit at 2 o'clock, you cannot leave the South Unit at 1:30 thinking you have plenty of time.
Right. Because it is already 2:30 there.
Yes. You must remember this time change when you plan your drive. You do not want to be late for a tour or miss a beautiful sunset because your clock is wrong.
That is an excellent travel tip. Now, what do visitors need to actually enter the park gates?
You need to buy a pass to enter the park. When you drive up to the gate, you will ask for a standard vehicle pass.
A standard vehicle pass?
Yes. A vehicle pass covers your car and everyone inside it. This pass costs $30.
That is not bad.
No. And the best part is that this pass lasts for 7 days. So you pay $30 one time, and you can explore all 3 units of the park for a full week.
That gives you plenty of time to explore. Let us talk about exploring the South Unit first.
Let's do it.
There are 2 amazing places you absolutely must see. The first is the Wind Canyon Trail.
What makes the Wind Canyon Trail so special for visitors?
Well, it is a very short trail. It is only 0.4 miles long. This makes it a very easy walk.
Oh, nice.
But the view is spectacular. It is the absolute best place in the South Unit to watch the sun go down.
I love a good sunset.
When the sun sets, the sky turns orange and purple. You can look down from the trail and see the beautiful river shining in the evening light.
That sounds like a perfect evening. What is the second must-see spot?
The second spot is the Painted Canyon. The rocks in this canyon have incredible colors.
Hence the name, Painted Canyon.
Exactly. When you look at the canyon walls, you will see deep reds, you will see bright yellows, you will see warm browns. It truly looks like a giant, beautiful painting made by nature.
That is wonderful.
But there is something even more amazing in the South Unit. It is called the Petrified Forest. In fact, this park has the third highest concentration of petrified wood in the entire United States.
The petrified forest sounds fascinating, but we should explain what that means. Let's open the contextual classroom again. What exactly is a petrified forest?
Let us travel back in time. Millions of years ago, this dry, bad land was very different. It was not rough and dry.
What was it like?
It was a warm, wet swamp. There were massive green trees growing everywhere. There were giant reptiles walking around in the mud.
Like dinosaurs?
Yes. Over a very long time, those massive trees died and fell down into the wet mud.
So the trees were buried under the ground?
Yes, exactly. They were buried deep under the water and mud. Very slowly, the water brought minerals into the wood. The minerals replaced the wood completely.
So the wood changed?
Yes, the wood turned into solid stone. When we use the word petrified, it means something has turned into stone over millions of years.
I see.
So petrified wood is heavy rock that looks exactly like a piece of an ancient tree. It is amazing to see a tree made of heavy stone.
It is an amazing sight. If you want to hike to see these stone trees, I have some very important practical travel tips for you.
Oh, good.
I am going to give you a do and a don't for your safety.
Safety is always the first priority. What is the DO?
D, bring lots of water. The hike to see the petrified trees is a long trail. It is a 10.4-mile loop.
That is a very long walk.
Yes, and there is absolutely no shade on this trail. There are no trees to block the hot sun. In the summer, it gets very hot.
So you need water?
A lot of water. Here is the rule you must follow. Bring 1 liter of water per person per hour.
1 liter per hour.
Yes. If you plan to hike for 3 hours, you must carry 3 liters of water for yourself. This will keep you safe and stop you from getting sick in the heat.
That is a vital rule. The Badlands can be very unforgiving. Now, what is the don't?
The don't is very serious. Don't take the rocks. It is strictly illegal to take petrified wood from a national park. Illegal means it is against the law.
Very much against the law.
If a park ranger sees you taking a rock, you will get into serious trouble and pay a large fine. You must leave the stones exactly where you find them.
Right. Leave them on the ground so other travelers can enjoy them next week and next year.
Exactly. Take only photographs and leave only footprints.
That is the best way to respect the park. And speaking of respect, this park has a deeply fascinating human history.
It really does. When you look at all these wild open spaces, it makes you wonder, why is this the only national park named after one single person?
Right.
What happened to President Theodore Roosevelt out here in the Badlands?
This story is actually a terrible tragedy. A tragedy is a very sad and painful event.
Oh, no.
In September of 1883, Theodore Roosevelt was a young man. He was not the president yet. He came from the busy city of New York to the wild Badlands.
Why did he come?
He came to hunt a large animal called a bison. He fell in love with the rough land, but then he went back home to New York.
And then something terrible happened the next year, right?
Yes. On February 14th, 1884, his world completely collapsed. His young wife died.
That is awful.
And on the exact same day, in the exact same house, his mother died too.
On the same day?
Yes, it was a dark and terrible day. He was completely broken. He felt a deep, heavy sadness.
So what did he do to heal his broken heart?
He decided he had to leave the busy city. He came back to the rough, quiet Badlands. He was looking for solitude.
Solitude. Contextual classroom time again. Solitude means being completely alone to find peace.
Yes. He needed a quiet place far away from people and far away from his sadness. He found that solitude at a place called Elkhorn Ranch.
That is the third unit we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
the Elkhorn Ranch unit.
Exactly. He bought the rights to this remote piece of land for just $400. He built a large wooden house and a ranch near the river. He called it his home ranch.
And he lived there.
He spent his days riding horses and working hard. He found peace in the silence of nature. But the Badlands are a harsh and extreme place. The weather can be very dangerous.
It is not an easy place to live. What happened to his ranch?
In the winter of 1886 to 1887, a terrible disaster struck. The winter brought deep snow and freezing, brutal cold.
Well, that sounds bad.
The temperatures dropped dangerously low. The wind was fierce. Roosevelt lost 60% of his cattle.
60%.
Yes. The poor animals simply could not survive the freezing conditions. It was a devastating loss for his business.
That sounds incredibly difficult. If you visit the Elkhorn Ranch unit today, what will you see?
Today, the large wooden ranch buildings are completely gone. Time and weather destroyed them.
So there's nothing left.
If you visit the site today, you will only see the stone foundations resting in the grass. But it is still a beautiful, quiet place.
That sounds nice.
You can sit under the tall trees, listen to the river flowing, and feel the exact same peace and solitude that he was looking for all those years ago.
It is a very emotional place to visit. Now let us shift our focus to the wilder side of the park. Let us talk about the North Unit.
Yes, the North Unit.
Earlier, we mentioned that it is more remote and wild.
It has a very rugged wild beauty. It feels like a true adventure. One of the best spots to see this rugged beauty is called the Oxbow Overlook.
What makes the view from the Oxbow Overlook so special?
From this high overlook, you can look down into the deep canyons. You can see the little Missouri River at the bottom. The river bends very sharply.
Bends like a curve.
Yes. It is shaped almost like a letter U. This sharp bend is called an oxbow. It is a spectacular view of the water cutting through the rough Badland rocks.
And because the North Unit is so wild, this is a great place to see animals, correct? What kind of wildlife can travelers see?
You can see so many amazing animals roaming free. You will see massive bison walking through the grass. You will see large elk.
Any small animals?
Yes, you will see small, cute animals called prairie dogs running around. You might even see a herd of wild horses running across the hills.
Speaking of the wild horses, we should mention a current event happening in the park right now.
Yes, we should.
The park officially classifies these horses as livestock, not as wild native animals.
Yeah.
Because of this, there's a debate about how to manage them.
A very big debate.
Some groups want to remove the horses from the park entirely. Other groups fight very hard for the horses to stay.
Right.
We are not taking any sides in this political debate. We are simply reporting the facts from our sources.
Right.
It is always good for you to know the local news and current events when you travel to a new place.
Exactly. It is good to be an informed traveler. Now, let us talk about the biggest and most famous animals in the park, the bison.
The bison.
The park has to manage the bison very carefully to protect the local environment.
How many bison actually live in the park?
There are between 200 and 500 bison living in the South Unit, and there are between 100 and 300 bison living in the smaller North Unit.
How do the park rangers keep the bison numbers healthy?
To keep the ecosystem balanced, the park staff conducts something called a roundup.
A roundup. Let's define that for our contextual classroom. A roundup is a big event where people gather many animals together in one place.
Yes. Every 2 or 3 years, the park staff works together to do a bison roundup. They use helicopters flying high in the sky.
Helicopters. Does that scare them?
The helicopters do not scare the animals. They gently guide the heavy bison toward a special fenced area.
What happens when the bison get to the fenced area?
They guide the bison into a very small space called a squeeze chute.
A squeeze chute.
Yes. This small space holds the large bison safely and keeps them calm so they do not hurt themselves. While the bison is safe in the chute, biologists check their health.
That makes sense.
They test their genetics to make sure the herd is strong and healthy.
And what if there are too many bison for the park to feed?
If there are too many bison, they must move some of them. They safely transport the extra bison to other national parks in the country.
Oh, that is a good idea.
They also give many bison to Native American tribes to help build new herds. This careful management keeps the Badlands ecosystem perfectly balanced.
Because there are so many large animals in the park, we need to discuss some vital travel skills for your safety.
Safety is key.
When you are hiking or driving and you see a bison or a wild horse, you must remember this very important English phrase, keep your distance.
That is the most important rule in the park.
Yes, say it with me in your head, keep your distance. This means you must stay very far away from the animal.
Right.
Do not walk close to them to take a picture. These animals look slow and heavy, but they are incredibly fast.
Very fast.
They can run much faster than a human, and they can be very dangerous if they feel scared. You are a guest in their wild home. Keep your distance to keep yourself and the animals completely safe. Do not ever try to touch or pet them.
That is absolutely correct. And while you are watching the big animals, you also must watch your step on the ground.
Why is that? What should travelers look out for on the ground?
When you hike in the Badlands, you will see many holes in the dirt. These holes are made by the small prairie dogs. They dig tunnels and live underground.
That sounds cute.
But here's the scary part. Sometimes dangerous rattlesnakes hide inside those prairie dog holes to escape the hot sun.
Rattlesnakes! Oh my.
Poisonous black widow spiders also hide in the holes. You definitely do not want to accidentally step into one of those holes.
That is a very good warning. This is why you must always wear good, strong hiking boots when you visit the park.
Always wear boots.
Good boots will protect your feet and ankles. Always watch where you walk and stay on the marked trails.
This park really is an amazing destination. It has absolutely everything an explorer could want. It offers a perfect mix of deep American history, wild beauty, and unique science.
It is also a fantastic place for you to practice your travel English. You now know how to talk about different park units.
Yes.
You know how to manage changing time zones. You know how to buy a vehicle pass.
Yeah.
And you know how to tell people to keep your distance around wild animals. You are totally prepared for this trip.
Before we finish our deep dive today, I want to leave you with one final, deeply important thought about the history of this land.
What is that?
We talked a lot about Theodore Roosevelt and the cattle ranchers, but long before any of them arrived in the Badlands, Native Americans lived here.
They lived on this rough land for thousands of years.
Yes, they did. Archaeologists have explored the park and found amazing things. They have found ancient stone rings left on the ground from old camps.
Wow.
Even more amazing, they have found conical timber lodges. These are special wooden structures built by the native people to trap eagles.
To trap eagles?
Yes. Some of these incredible wooden structures are still standing in the park today, hidden in the remote canyons.
That is truly incredible to imagine.
So I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine you are standing on a high cliff edge in the Badlands at night. The wind is quiet. You look up at the dark sky.
That paints a beautiful picture.
You are looking at the exact same stars that those ancient people looked at thousands of years ago. The Badlands can look rough and empty during the day. But what other hidden stories does this land remember?
Such a great question.
What other secrets are waiting out there in the dark canyons that we have not even discovered yet?
That is a wonderful and powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the beautiful and wild Badlands. Keep practicing your English, keep exploring, and we will see you next time.